And we're good. We're live, back again. Right, Chris?
We are back. Quarantine episode number 3.
Three.
We're
Number
here
three.
again. Hello world. Thanks for tuning in. It's me, Jay. Bro will tune in a little bit later on. Our special guest tonight is Hector Vazquez. He is a former boxer. He is a trainer. He has his own gym, Sweat Boxing Gym in Irving, if you're here in Dallas. And he also is how would you say, Jay, matchmaker slash promoter or something like that with Mikey Garcia. I don't know the correct title. Excuse me, Hector, if you're tuning in. I don't know the correct title of your position. So, but he does he does team up with Mikey Garcia to put on shows here in Dallas.
So when I texted him and when I asked him a while ago, he said he is an event planner slash partner in the Dallas area for the boxing for Mikey Garcia's promotion. So here in a few minutes, what it'd be like 4 minutes, I'm gonna tell Hector. Hector will be on, and he can tell us a little bit more about himself and talk about his opportunity he has. Because I know before I met him, well, I mean not before I met him, before all of this happened with the boxing and all that, he had in mind, like he already had in mind, and he wanted to do a promotion, like he wanted to become like running event for boxing. And that was just something that he's been wanting to do long term. He's like, man, I want to set up an event at like at the Toyota Center in Irving. I want to do an event. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I remember we were just talking, and then I was like, oh, maybe one time this opportunity will come in. And then obviously now where he's at, doing everything with Mikey Garcia's promotions, it's been going pretty well for him. So here in a couple of minutes, I'll go ahead and I'll tell him to join the show.
Yeah, and in the meantime, there's a lot that goes into it that people don't know. There's a lot of planning, a lot of getting a lot of stuff situated, crossing your T's, down your I's. A lot of stuff goes into it, and you're talking about him doing that, plus running the gym, plus he also trains Listo.
And Mark.
And then he's also a dad, and he has a lot going on. So it's a lot going into that into that promotion and stuff like that. So it'll be great when he gets on the video and we can talk to him and everything.
Before we move on, he's technically not a dad. He has a dog, but he's not a dad. Okay. He's not a dad, but he has a lot of nieces and nephews and
Hey Hector, so we're on the same boat, Hector. I got no kids neither. I got 2 dogs, so we good.
Yeah.
I enjoy my naps. I enjoy getting up late, so we're good.
Oh, tell me about it. I don't get to do that. I never really get to do that. So
it's funny, before we got on right now, I was taking a nap before we got on, so it's joys of really not having the kids. You get to do come and go as you please. So
yeah. Well, here he is. Let me go ahead and bring him on the show. And this is Hector Vazquez, who is the trainer, the event coordinator. Oh, look at that! Look at that facial hair, Hector.
Yeah, no.
Look at that. No haircut either. No, look at all
no.
That. Me too, bro. Like you probably can't tell as much as you, but I mean, I have let mine grow out, and I haven't got a haircut. I'm over here. I was thinking today about going bald and just shaving everything off because I'm getting so irritated by the hair. But I appreciate you, Hector, coming on and chatting with us. I know I always pull your ear and always get a lot of just to let you know we are live, just to get a lot of information off of you. But I'll go ahead and Chris start this off with you. Those who don't know and the people who are tuning in, this is Hector Vazquez, ex-professional fighter. I'm sorry, Hector, you're not gonna fight against your ex-professional fighter.
Well, you never know.
No, I don't think you're gonna fight again, bro. Let's just be honest. He's a trainer. He's the owner of a boxing gym. He's also an event coordinator / partner of Mikey Garcia's promotions here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So I'll go ahead and hand it off to you to Chris, and then we can go ahead and get started with this. And I like that shirt, by the way. I was waiting for
mine. Right?
All right, go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Hector, thank you for joining us on the show today. Appreciate it, man.
Sounds good, man. Thank you for having me.
Hey, no, I just want to tell you thank you too, man. You let us use your gym a couple of times to do our show and everything, and we truly do appreciate it, and we're truly thankful for that. So thank you so much. I want to tell you that off the bat because that was on my mind when I know you had you on board. I was like, man, this dude has done a lot for us. So we thank you so much for everything you've done for us, and we do appreciate it.
Thank you. No. Like I said, we're here to help each other out. So definitely, for sure.
Sure. Well, going backdoor Jay, when Jay was talking about all those titles that you have, man, how do you balance all those titles? Well, of course, you're a former fighter, you're a trainer, you own your own gym, plus you're an event planner, and you help Mikey Garcia with his promotion. So, how do you balance all that?
I really don't know. It can be hectic at times. I think Jay will tell you firsthand, like towards the end of of fight week, I'm like 100 miles an hour, going crazy. I'm getting angry really quickly, but it's something that I'm passionate about. I've been doing it for over 20 years. Been in the boxing game, and it's what I love. And sometimes we got to sacrifice a little bit, for the future.
Okay, and I'll just ask you too. You're not just a trainer; you own your own gym. So, how's it feel to own your own gym?
Definitely, it was a huge goal of mine since I was little. Since I've always been in the gym, and definitely, it's one of those things that I'm proud of. But let me tell you something: it's not easy. It is not easy. It's not easy owning a gym, especially a boxing gym. When you're trying to, make it a business, because at the end of the day, it's so much work that goes into it that it's more of a hobby than it is a business.
So that's a good thing about it. You enjoy doing it. So that's what makes you keep on striding, right? Because you enjoy doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, that's all I know what to do. Since I was 8 years old, I've been going to the gym, and I'm 29 now, so that should tell you.
Yeah. 29 years old and got all those credentials, man. That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Good
thank
blessing.
you. No, yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and being when you came from, you're a former boxer, and now you're a trainer too. So you train Listo and you train, was it Mark? You said Jay?
Yeah, Mark Vasquez.
Okay.
He's not related to Hector, by the way.
Yeah, we're not related.
How do you enjoy training, man?
I love it. You know what I'm saying? What I tell everybody, with any comes to any trainer, it's all about chemistry and connection. Your fighters have to believe in you, believe in what you know, and believe what they're learning. Once that happens, then everything else comes natural, and it becomes very easy.
What plans you got for Listo coming up? I guess once all this quarantine stuff gets cleared
Man,
up and everything.
it's been crazy because we were gonna fight April 28th, which was on Saturday. Obviously, that canceled. The governor of Texas shut down all boxing, shut all any event. Obviously, with this whole coronavirus, COVID-19. Then we moved it to May 30th, which is technically we have that signed, but the TDLR just came up released a statement saying that as of short notice, everything in May is canceled as well. So, we're just, negotiating, talking to them, seeing what's going to happen. And as soon as we are released and we can throw a fight, that's when it's going to happen.
Well, the last, I guess let me go into promotion thing. So you as I guess, event planner, is that the correct word, event planner? Is that what the title's called?
It's a big coordinator, so pretty much I run the show. Pretty much everything that happens from the ground up, I'm the one that gets it going, and it's pretty much my show that I run. And luckily I've been blessed with Mikey and Seferino believing in me, and pretty much they tell me, hey, whatever you need to do, go ahead and do it, and we'll be out there fight of the week.
With that, I guess you said from the bottom on up. So you're doing everything as you're working with vendors, you're working with, I guess, the commission, do vendors also
Everything.
and everything?
So
Merchandise and all that?
sponsorship, pretty much. Obviously, I've got to find the location for the weigh-ins. I got to find the venue for the event. Different vendors that want to be there the day of the fight. You know, everything, pretty much everything. The only thing that I don't do is the matchmaking, which we have Reggie from Louisiana that he does all our matchmaking. Obviously, there's a lot of people that are behind the scenes that that help me out to make sure things are run smooth. But from the people that help everybody that purchased the tickets, to the security team, to the people, the production side, and like it's pretty much all our people.
How hard is that? Is that pretty difficult to get all? It seems like a lot of talking to here, talking to there. It's just like, man, it seems like sometimes
Oh yeah,
my
for
cross.
sure. It's a lot. especially the first time I was running like a headless chicken, like seriously. But now, little by little, everybody that's been put in their place, like, hey, you're in charge of the like we got to get the music for the fighters, and as an example, we got to see what their entrance and all this. So you put the right people in the right position. They understand it. They've done it once or twice, and everything just flows so much better. And when you have people that love boxing, they definitely do a great job.
Well, with your last show, I believe Listo was supposed to headline, and he didn't want him headlining. So how hard is that for you to? I guess he's the next person up goes up and headlines, or does that hurt you in any kind of way?
Not necessarily. Again, unfortunately, Listo had an injury during camp. We try to work through it as much as possible, but towards the end, we realized that we were putting his career or in his health at jeopardy, and it wasn't worth it. It sucks because he put in all that hard work. I was there every step of the way. We sacrificed not just our bodies, but our time, and it's definitely intense. And pretty much after that, we decided, we talked to Mikey what was going to happen, and then we put the right people in place, and then the next man up. In our situation, we have heavy sponsors that back not just Mikey Garcia Promotions and Listo and Mark, but also me in the gym, which is DIF company. So when you have the number one sponsor of the event, pretty much everything goes through us, and luckily we're blessed to have that.
Hector, let me ask you something before I forget. Let me cut you off real quick, Chris. What's the most complicated part about doing these events? And I know all of this, and trust me, like we talk about this all the time. But what is the number one hardest thing to do while you're running the show? Because I will say this, and I will back you up on this. Is that Hector, when it comes to doing an event, like Hector doesn't want anything to slip under the cracks. Like he wants everything perfect. Yeah, again, he's a perfectionist, and I know that, and I think I've told you that. I told you that, Chris, because he also speaks volume of if Garcia and Seferino, who'll be like, well, why should let's put our marbles or all our trust in Hector. Hector has not, from what I've seen, what I've heard, has not let them down. But what has been one of the complicated thing to do while you're running the event or doing the event?
I guess I think to me the most stressful is the week of the fight, the week of the day of the weigh-ins. You got a lot of people trying to come in. A lot of people don't understand that. Yeah, we run the show, but we gotta make sure people show up. Show support, because Mikey and Seferino put up a lot of money for these shows, and they can go anywhere in the United States, but they want to come to Dallas. So, it's my job and, everybody that helps me run the whole show to make sure they're happy and they keep coming back. Obviously media, comes in. A lot of people want to come in for free and all that. Like we gotta, kind of separate a fine line saying, hey, look, we want to help everybody out. We want everybody to come, but, we got to make sure, everybody that comes is, doing their part as well. So we can make this be bigger, because we don't want to do one show or two shows and then that's it. They're never going to come back. We want to do 4 or 5 shows a year, and the way things are going, that's what's happening.
And that's one thing that I was telling you, Chris. Oh, here's Robert. Robert's about to get on. I'll give him a couple of seconds to get ready to log on.
So that's one thing that. Oh, I'm sorry, Jay William. I'm asking. So the hardest thing is probably saying no to people. How hard is that? Pretty hard.
Yeah. People take it the wrong way. It's nothing personal. Like I said, I try to be as fair as possible. Obviously, people think they're entitled, or people think they're doing something that really they don't really understand, that doesn't help us. I'm there to help. Like I said, I'm here. You help me, I help you. And Jay can testify this. We had to turn a lot of media credentials out, because last minute they wanted credentials, and it's a tough thing to say no, because I definitely want everybody there, but if I have 30 to 40 media people, it makes the event look kind of crazy, because the media people want to do their job. They want to interview fighters, the celebrities that are there, Mikey and all that. But if I have 40 people doing that, it kind of takes away from the event and from the fighters that are actually fighting. So it has its up and downs for sure.
Hey, but Hector, tell them about the process that people don't know. Like, you have a certain amount of passes that TDLR gives you. Like, you can get certain amount for the boxers, certain amount for the celebrities, certain amount for media. So people don't know that either. So I know you, being with you the last event where we were at the weigh-ins, you had to ask the commissioner if he can give you extra passes. So could you also tell people about that? Because I didn't know it was like that until I was there with you.
Yeah. Exactly. So I mean, the commissioner is very tight on what they give the promoter. So normally at a max, they will give me 30 wristbands that are TDLR. What that means is you get to be at ringside inside the cage. But you got to understand those 30 are your celebrities that go in. Everybody has to have one. Your production team, which is that means the guys that go get the gloves, take the gloves from the corner, the guys that bring the fighters, the guys that communicate with the ring announcer, the commissioner, and the DJ. So you're talking about from all that, you got to have enough for media. Well, that only leaves you really 5 to maybe 8 pushing media that can be at TDLR. So a lot of media gets mad at me the day of the fight, like, hey, look, I mean, if you've been helping out and the people that help out the most, we'll definitely give you a TDLR. But then after that, whoever did least, okay, you get a media credential, but you might not get the full access inside the cage. And again, I want everybody to do that, but it's hard when you're very limited. And the commissioners, like, they don't care. They're like, hey, we got to secure the area, make sure everything's safe. We don't need 100 people around the ring, in and out, taking pictures and trying to interview Mikey and the celebrities. Which that's kind of how it goes.
Remember, so the couple of months ago when all this situation happened, and I was telling you briefly about it, because Hector sat me down and he told me, okay, I need you to go over the media, and I need you to take care of that. And the thing is that what I was telling him and what I was telling y'all is that since I joined the team in 2015, if I'm not mistaken, it's been 5 years. Probably in the last 2 years, there's been a lot of media that has raised, or that a lot of media that has really started their own brand. And that's what I told Hector. I said, you need people who are going to come to this event. They're going to keep on covering it consistently, because when the first 2 events took place, I think there was only like 3 or 4 media, including me, and I was helping out Hector whatever he needed. But this one, I was telling you, we had like 20, and we're like, where did all these people come out? Like are they gonna keep on helping us out? And it's not like Hector can say, like, it's not that we're trying to, or he wasn't, or Hector really wasn't saying, no, I don't want this guy. It's just more like, are they gonna help us out? Are they gonna be supporting us? Because at the end, Hector keeps on telling me, and he keeps on saying, we need this event to look big so Garcia can keep on coming. He can keep on investing this money with us. So that's just another thing that people don't see. And I know it stirred a lot of heat with some people, but I mean, it's just the nature of the beast, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. Like, I know it was more than 20. I think I counted like 27, 28. That day of the weigh-ins, that people are literally, my phone was blowing up. Texting, calling at 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, asking for media or passes, and not only they're asking. Okay, I'm not trying to put anybody under the bus, but if you're media, I'm gonna give you media. But some people were asking, hey, let me have 2 more or 3 more passes. I'm like, whoa, like there's no way I can do that. And it sucks. I wish I could say yes to everybody, but in order for us to do a successful professional show, we have to have certain rules and in place to make it flow better, I guess you could say.
It's a backdoor that, I guess, to still stay on the topic a little bit. So when somebody applies for credentials, do you actually go and look at their social media, look at their website, and just how do you base who comes in and who doesn't come in?
Absolutely. So pretty much we tell everybody on, we'll blast it on Facebook, on social media, like, hey, look, if you're looking for credentials, you can contact me, DM me on Facebook, your name, your company, or Jay, whatever. After, the week, pretty much we start, the week of the fight, we start writing everybody's name and then going to their social media, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. All right, so what have they posted, since what day, since what time, etc.? Did they started posting the week of the fight? Did they posted 2 months before the fight when the first poster was released? Have they done interviews? Have they interviewed anybody, any fighter or any person involved with the event? There's little things like that we look at. Obviously, the person that did the most is going to get first dibs. The person that did the second most, then gets second dibs. And it's just going to go on and on and on. And if people didn't do anything, and then the last, the week you put, hey, this fight this Saturday when there's 2 days to go, well, sometimes it's kind of too, a little bit too late.
Okay. I guess another question I have for you, Hector, is how did you and Mikey link up?
So pretty much, it's technically a long story. Pretty much is the day Mikey fought Earl Spence. Obviously he threw his promotional fight here the day before, which was on a Friday. Obviously Listo was part of it. We went there. Listo did really good. He had attracted Mikey's father, which Mikey's father went back to Mikey the day after or whatever, and told him, hey, you know what, we need to look into this kid. So going back on Saturday, it was a Mikey versus Earl Spence, and I was talking to Jay like, hey man, I don't know if I'm gonna go because I was gonna get free tickets. Last minute didn't go through, and I was like, I don't know. And he was like, man, you should go. You never know what's gonna happen. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah. So last minute, I decided to buy me a ticket, got me a 4-seat. Me and Jay were down there, and then I come across Seferino. Seferino stopped me like, hey man, how's it going? Hey man, we really want to talk to you and Listo. Listo looked really good. We want to see what we can have in the future. And then he started talking to me about throwing fights that, he had issues the first time that I didn't do. And he wanted somebody to see somebody that can maybe throw the fights and help him throw the fights down here. And he asked me, he said, is that something you would be interested in? I'm like, I've never done it, but I definitely can do my best. And I guess, a month later, he asked around, and then he finally kind of called people around the DFW area and gave me the opportunity. And after that, it's been going and going and going.
Was it nervous doing the first show, or compared to the rest of them?
He was sweating every single second.
It was hectic. I don't think I wasn't nervous. Like I said, I've been doing this for so long. I was ready for it. I was prepared. But it was hectic. I was, in a way, I guess you could say, nervous for the people that I put in place. I didn't know, because a lot of people never been. That you go to a boxing event, but you don't realize what really goes behind the scenes to make it happen. So everybody that I put in place was new to it. So it was a little nerve wracking, but like I said, everybody did a great job. Luckily they got to deal with if you can deal with my bad side, which that day I might have been a little crazy, everything went good.
Now, one thing I noticed too, when you put the card together, you're always up front when you put the card together. It's a couple months before the event. It's not a month before, 2 weeks before the event. So it helps you sell tickets. How much from the initial announcement of the fight, how much does the card change to the night of the fight?
We normally have our fighters that we already have in place. Obviously, the ones that change are, the opponents. You never know, injuries happen, et cetera, et cetera. Like, to be honest with you, we already know what the next card is before we do the fight. So let's just say we did our fight tomorrow. So already today we would have known, okay, our next event is in 2 months, this date. All right, and I'm already working on it. Like, and people call me like a month after our show, like, hey, can you put my fighter? I'm like, man, we're already booked. You're like, what do you mean? I was like, these guys don't play. These guys are serious. Like, it's already set in stone. We already know who we have, and we're just finding their opponents. And then I'm working on the sponsorship to being used, etc.
So hands on, how much is Mikey's people into it? Is it just you putting the whole card together and they're
No. So pretty much Seferino is the one that runs the show. He is the CEO of Mikey Garcia Promotions, right? Them two are business partners. I talk to him on a day-to-day basis. We talk. Hey, he tells me, obviously they're signing fighters left and right. So he's like, hey, I need this guy on the show. And then obviously Listo's their guy, and then he's like, all right, who do you think we should put on the show? I'm like, well, I need this guy, and I feel like this guy is perfect. Maybe we need to give this person an opportunity, and then we go from there. And we went from a 6-fight card to a 10-fight card, and now it looks like we're doing minimum 10 fights a card. That's how busy we have. That's how many fighters we just have, and people that are being ticket sellers as well.
Yeah. So how much? Who does the matchmaking?
Reggie.
Okay.
Yeah, Reggie does a great job. Like I said, that's the one job I do not want to have. Trust me, trying to make fights happen, trying to get fighters to agree on all terms, weight, money, and all that. It's definitely a hassle, and luckily, I don't have to deal with that.
And when you
Hector.
said you pick who fighters, like of course you're gonna go with Listo, but I guess other fighters that are local here in Dallas or whatever. Do you base who's gonna be on the show by ticket sales, or do you actually go watch them fight or spar or train and say that guy's good, he'll draw? Or
Yeah, a little bit of both. Like I said, obviously Listo's signed with Mikey Garcia Promotions, so definitely Listo's always fighting. Plus, he's a money man. I'll call him the money man because he sells more tickets combined than everybody in the whole card combined. That's how much he sells. Obviously, Mark is part of the sweat team, and so he's gonna always be fighting. And then after that, there's a couple guys that Mikey likes that he just wants to keep seeing their progression. And obviously the ticket sellers. The number one thing is ticket sellers. Obviously, the less money they can lose, the better for everybody. Because people think, oh, you sold out, you made money. I'm like, well, no. If the card cost me $80,000 and I sold $50,000 worth of tickets, we lost 30,000, 40,000, and that's realistic numbers. That's not fake numbers.
when you put it that way, man, that's kind of scary, man. You put in 80,000, you only get back 50. That's not a winning situation.
But also, people don't know that.
Go ahead.
That going with this, Hector. I think you forgot to add that going with this is that you have to pay. If I'm not mistaken, you have to pay for the fighters that are coming into town. I think you told me that you had to pay for their airplane, their hotel, and I think the flights for
the per diem. So pretty much you got to pay for their food. Roughly, it's like $100 a day. But you got to play. Normally, you got to pay the fighter and 2 trainers. So if they're coming from out of town, they need to get plane tickets. They need to get a hotel. So we're talking about it adds up, and it adds up really quick. Especially when you have, let's just say your fighter is 10-0 or 12-0. He has a good record. They want big money. It's not something that it's easy. That's what people don't realize. Oh no, they're doing great. Yeah, we're doing great, and we need to sell out. But really, when the money comes in, is when you have that TV, it takes a major blow from your expenses. But like I said, losing. One thing is losing. 10,000, 5,000, 20,000 here and there. That's fine. But one thing is you're losing 50, 60,000 after 2 or 3 shows. You're gonna be like, you know what? I'm good. But like I said, it's part of the process. Luckily everybody involved, Mikey and all that, they understand, and they're working on a lot of big things that I really can't say right now. But
come on, Hector. I'm messing with you, man.
I know some of them, but I know Hector will kill me and he'll lock the doors of Sweat Boxing Gym if I say something. So Hector, yeah, he'll change everything for me. I know a little bit, but I can't say nothing. But he tells me.
Yeah, like I said, Mikey's doing things the right way. He is an active fighter that is very popular and is very successful, and he's putting his money into the right people to make promotion successful. That's why Mikey has to deal with his own side of the business of boxing. His next big contract, whether it's with whatever network or whoever he's gonna fight, which I'm not gonna say or whatever. He's dealing with all that. So he's putting his name, his brand with Seferino, and Seferino trusted me. So my job is to do the best I can and make that happen so he can keep coming back. And people don't realize is like Mikey's fighting a lot in Dallas. He's not from Dallas. He has no family. He has a cousin in Dallas, but he doesn't have nothing else tying him to Dallas. But his promotion, his fighters, he really loves Dallas, and you just got to show the love and support.
Okay, very quick question. Okay, you saying that Lisa sells more than anybody, the events. Will that hurt him from trying to be on Mikey's card if he were to try to put him on undercard with ticket wise selling?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, of course. People are like, hey, why doesn't Listo fight under Mikey Garcia? Well, Listo brings in so much money that it'll be a very dumb idea. Especially when Mikey wants to build his promotion, He's like, well, one thing, if I, like I said, if I lose 5 to 10,000, that's okay. But if Lisa doesn't fight, we're losing $40,000. Then that's
Yeah.
when you're like, whoa, you're taking a big hit. And it's part of it. I told, me and Lisa talk about it, with the whole team, like, hey, you're in a very good place. You just got to understand that, maybe later down the road, you'll fight in a big card, but hey, right now you're headlining your card, which is, a very blessed situation. So take advantage.
Yeah.
What part? And I know all of this. Okay, so but I want people to know this. But what part? How long did it take for Listo to understand that when he first fought at his first card as pro debut to now being at the Mikey Garcia, because I forgot the first card what he was at, and then he went to Casa de Boxeo, and then he did already 3 with Mikey or 2 with Mikey. How did you get to install it in his brain that really that being a professional fighter it's really more business than what it meets the eye? How did you make him process that?
I mean, since day one, like before I even started training him, I told him, look, you want to go pro? He's like, yeah, okay. I'm gonna tell you this, and I broke it down. This. If you think you're gonna be rich off the back, you're absolutely wrong. There's absolutely no way someone's gonna bring you and give you a lot of money, because it doesn't work that way. People think, hey, you're a professional boxer, you're making a lot of money. Hell no, no way. Like, it's telling you, it's tough. And I told him, I said, you think boxing, you training is hard? I said, you don't realize that you're also fighting the business side. It's 2 fights, the business side and then the actual fighting, because there's so many people that are around you. When you're successful, everybody wants to help you out. Everybody wants to be a part of something. But then something unexpected happens, and then you lose or you suck, and then little by little they're trying to cash their chips. And I told them, I was like, hey, if somebody offers you a lot of money, whether it's a manager, this and that, guess what? It's a business. It's just not because they love you or whatever. It's a business. So if they can be putting money into you, and then one day they realize, hey, you're not going to make it, guess what? They're going to cash out, right? Because they're going to, either win some money or recuperate some of that lost money that they invested in you. And that's how business is in boxing. And I told him straight up. And then little by little, he started understanding. And then, luckily, he, like I said, he trusts me. He definitely pays attention to detail, and especially the business side. And he just asked me for my opinion, and I give it to him. And from there, he does his own thing for sure.
And one thing that I've learned in the boxing game, and being around Hector and Listo, and being around obviously the media. But one thing that I've learned, that the more higher you get, or the more you keep on elevating in that ladder in the professional atmosphere of boxing, you need people that are not yes mans. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, people have said that having people in your entourage that are just yes, that say yes to you for anything, are not going to help you. And Hector's is the other type of person that he'll tell you, no, like, this is not what you need to do. So Hector tells Listo the reality of everything. And even though Listo or his dad are like, man, like, they don't want to hear it, Listo, Hector's like, no, bro, this is how it has to be. You need to listen to me. And there's been a lot of times that Hector has done that, and he's been like, no, bro, it doesn't go like this. It can't be like this, and it won't be like this. And you need to stay like this, or you need to do this, and you need to listen to me. And then, even although Listo's like, okay, well, you know what? You're right. Hector's one of those people that does that, and the boxing atmosphere needs that, because boxers get too ahead of themselves and they forget where they started, and they need people that need to put them in their, I guess, put them back on their shoes, bring them back from the clouds, and keep getting their head too elevated. And it's normal. You're a fighter. You feel invincible. You just want to fight. You knock somebody out. You got people screaming your name. They say that the type of atmosphere like the fighters get, it's just like a drug, and they want more and more and more of it, and it's understandable. But, and I won't go into detail, but there's been situations where Hector's been, all right, I got to talk to him. I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna do that, or his dad tells me, I don't know what do you think about this, and it's just more like, it's at the end, the way I see it is Hector looks at what's the best interest for Listo in the long run and for right now. You know what I mean? So it's good being part of this and hearing everything from Hector. And there's times where we have. I think there's been few instances that me and Hector have had an intense conversations about just the card, the media, Hector's Listo stuff. But Hector can tell you that, like, I'll give him my little my little stuff, but I really don't tell them, hey, bro, this I don't agree with. There's little things I don't agree on. I'm like, bro, you need to watch out with these other people. Watch out with this because some people are just in it for themselves, not for you. Like Hector, remember the 2 days or the day and the day before the event of Mikey Garcia, there was 2 companies. But there was one company that called Hector, hey man, we want to offer some business to Mikey Garcia if he wants to make some profit. The same day, I think it was the same day when we went to the event to fix everything up or prepare the location. Some company was out there was waiting to talk to Hector. Like, hey man, we want to talk to you because we want to talk to Mikey because we know he's a businessman. Hector's like, I don't do that. Look, man, if I want to come to the fight, buy tickets and then you'll get to talk to him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Hector
for
can
sure.
tell you that, right? And he gets that a lot. And then this is Hector. He gets his phone and he's like, no. I swear to you. And I'm like, I back up. And I'm like, I back up. But why don't we talk about while all of this is going on, while you're hosting an event, while you're worrying about the DJ, while you're worrying about the gloves, well, not saying worry about the gloves, you're worrying to make sure everybody has the gloves. You're worrying about if drinks are going to sell, people who are the celebrities that you got to go pick up or people that you got to go see at the front door. Why don't you talk about how you still have to worry about your 2 professional fighters that are going to go into the ring because Mark Vasquez is about to go on the show. And then at least you have it as the main event, or vice versa, how it was the last time where Mark was the main event. And I know I was in the back in the locker room, and I was just talking to Mark, and I was like, I'm just gonna see if everything's okay. Maybe if they need something. But how about you tell us more about that because you're dealing with all of this, but at the same time you got to prepare for your fighter going in the ring.
Yeah, that's
Oh yeah, I forgot we had a
I
fight.
mean, trust me. I've had sleepless nights, the first time I did it because I'm like, how am I gonna do this? I don't understand. Like, how am I gonna be here and here? And it's gonna be a very simple thing. It's all about the team. Everybody in our team, which I'm the head trainer, but luckily Listo has his father, Rafa Knuckles. They're huge support. Mark has his dad, Mark. Everybody has the role, and I talk to them like, hey, look, I'm not gonna be there because I'm gonna be all over the place, but the fight before your fight, I'm gonna drop wherever the hell I am at, and I'm going straight to you, and then we'll get into the boxing mode. Obviously, their fathers, they have experience, so they get them ready. They're with them, they're calming them, making sure everything's good. So when I show up, I'm ready to go, do mitt work, warm them up, and then we're ready for the game plan. Normally, I already know kind of how I want them. When we do training camp, we train different ways because we never know. Any fighter can, change their style randomly. We try to be aggressive and box and counter and be smart. But luckily, like I said, it's the team. Everybody plays a huge, crucial role on the success of not just me, the show, but of the fighters. We got Jay as part of the team. Everybody, Listo's father, Mark's father. We got Brandon. The strength and conditioning coach. Everybody has a huge role, and without them, it can't be possible for sure.
I got a question. When Mark changed to y'all's gym, I guess it's been how long has it been?
Probably a year and something, a year and a half, maybe.
Was it his intention to go back to go pro fight, or was it just to train again, or?
Yeah, I mean, Mark had, I think, 3 fights before that. Then he stopped for a year to 2 years, and then after that, he really wanted to come back. And I guess I've known his father since I was little, since I was 8. I've known Mark since he was a baby. Because I used to fight a lot since I was younger, in the amateurs, going to nationals, and the one professional fighter that my dad was part of the team was Francisco Rincon Pancho, which was very good, and Mark's dad was his cut man. So I've been knowing them for a very long time, and then they came up to me and they're like, hey, we would like to use the gym. I was like, okay, that's fine. And they're like, hey, maybe you can work with us and all that. I was like, look, I'm gonna give you the gym, you can use it. I'm not gonna tell you I'm gonna train you or not until I see you're actually serious, because I don't really have time to bullshit. So I left them for like 3 months. Hey, you do whatever you got to do. I pretend like I wasn't paying attention, but I was looking in the corner of my eye, see what he did with his dad. How serious, how dedicated he was. Because one thing about boxing, what people don't realize is, it's a hard sport, and if the fighter's not dedicated, I don't care how talented you are, how strong you are, how fast you are, you can just forget about it because down the road it's going to get tough, and then it's just going to go all down the drain. And that's one thing you don't want to do: waste the time, your energy when you could have focused that on somebody else that's very serious. And like I said, he took it very serious. Then we set up a fight, and then from there everything went great. The first camp, his very first camp was different completely from his other camps. He did really good, and then the second camp was better, and this last camp for his last fight was really, really great. And I was very excited because I knew he was going to show out. Unfortunately, the referee or the guy, whatever, stopped it too soon, but that's part of the game.
Yeah, we saw me and bro saw him fight when he got knocked out the last time before he switched to GL's gym. And I knew, like, before that, I knew he had some talent. He has the look for it from the get-go, and then he got knocked out, and then I was hoping he'd come back at some point, and then when he went to
where are we going with this, Robert?
I'm just saying that it was good he turned around. I'm just saying it's good that he turned around. Some people take a loss even at that after your fourth fight, and they're like, no, I don't do this shit anymore. It's not for him, for me, or I'm just saying it's good to see him turn around and go back to fighting. So,
oh yeah,
I could say being in more in the background and being at the gym, I could say that Mark really dedicated a lot, like his personal life as being a father, and obviously working and being a professional fighter. Like his schedule changed, and he still went to the gym and still gave it his 100%. And even having his daughter, like, I mean, I have a son, and it takes a lot of energy at you, and Mark still finds that fire to perform. And I remember the previous one before this one, where he had the cut, he was more nervous. He was a little nervous at the end, right, Hector? And he was like, how did I do? How did I do? I was like, dude, you did very, very good. I was like, there's little things you can clean up, but you did very, very good. But yeah, you could say that Mark has turned it around. And remember, he weighed a lot because he put a lot of mass. Remember, Hector?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was super muscular. We're like, man, you really did hit, because he went to for like a year or not for hitting weights. He was trying to do like a bodybuilder, and then
bodybuilding.
Yeah, but he really dropped it. He dedicated to dropping the weight and everything. But how? And I guess now let's go. We talk about Mark, and how is it as the main event? Walk us through that of Listo. How is that going into the main event after being the event coordinator? How do you prepare for Listo the day of?
Like I said, definitely, like I said, it's a huge team effort. It's a huge team effort. After Mark is done, I literally got to go straight to the back, make sure, hey, what fight is next, and then when's the last one? Obviously, when Listo fights, and then we go from there. Definitely not easy. I'm all over the place, but I definitely put my heart and soul into them and make sure they have everything ready. So when it's time to go, they're ready to go.
Well, I got a quick question for you, Hector. So you say there's fighters with their dads. Does that make it difficult during training? Because they're obviously their parents or their dads have an opinion. You have an opinion, but does this make it hard for you to try to tell people to be quiet and I'm the trainer, I do my job, you do your job, or how does that work out?
So it can be. I've seen it. I've been in the business. My dad used to train me. I've seen it so much. Fathers get involved so much because they want what's best for their kids. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm luckily that I have really good communication with both fighters' fathers. Listo's dad. I'm talking to him, and me and him are talking. And there's things that we don't even tell Listo that me and him are talking about. Like, hey, you know what? I think we need to do this. I do this. Look, let's do this. For whatever reasons, and they'll give me their opinions, and then we'll talk about it. Like, one thing about like we all want the same thing, but we gotta work together. And then I'll talk to Mark's dad too, because when fathers are involved, you get emotional because that's your son, that's your blood in there, and you get nervous and a lot of stuff. And I tell them, like, hey, if things go bad and they go sideways, you need to, if I tell you to be quiet, just be quiet or step aside. Let me handle it if it ever came to a situation in the corner. Besides that, man, they're all on the same page. They understand what we're trying to achieve. Both fighters are very talented and they're very hungry, and luckily they push each other to be successful.
I got another quick question. It's not about that. It's more like about boxing. So obviously you used to be a pro fighter and everything. So going forward with this boxing, there's been a lot of talk of this Earl Spence and Virgil Ortiz thing.
Don't start that. Don't start that.
No. But I'm just asking. I want because me and Hector had talked about boxing before at the gym and everything.
Yeah.
He's very, very educated and he's smart about it. Don't you think that fight? I don't know why we're even talking about that fight. Isn't that fight years and years from now? Shouldn't we be worried about Pacquiao and Crawford, stuff like that? Say worried about Virgil Ortiz right now, and nothing wrong with Virgil Ortiz. Is that it's too soon. I don't even know why we're talking about this for.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess we're all in quarantine and we got nothing else to talk about. No, look, like here's the reality. To be honest with you, Virgil's going to be champion for sure. I guarantee you he'll be champion at 147 and at 154. Obviously, Earl's the champion right now, but Earl's trying to get that big money fights. He's trying to get Pacquiao. But everybody's trying to get Pacquiao because Pacquiao's big money. And you heard Earl say, I'll do a rematch with Mikey because Mikey's big money. So they want the big money fight. That's what Earl wants. If no one's calling Terrence Crawford out, which I don't understand why. But it's business. Are they gonna fight? Probably eventually. But Virgil's up and coming. He's gonna be champion soon. But like I said, he's so young, man. He's only gonna get stronger and bigger and have more experience. That he's gonna be a huge force to reckon with within a year. Even right now, it's hard for you to handle Virgil because of his environment. Him being in Cali with Mikey and having all that veteran sparring and being around all those champions, he's at a different level than most young guys at his age because of that. That alone is a lot, and he'll be ready for a championship sooner than later. But like I said, just when you have the right team, the right managers, the right promoters to take care of you, and little by little put you up that ladder. I think if they rush him, it's because he's struggling to make 147. So they want obviously him to be champion at 147, then move to 154 and defend his win a title at 154. So if they do rush him, which they might, so he can get his title, they might do that. But obviously they need to do that in the right circumstances and make sure they're the A side and not going into a situation where they're going to lose because he's so young.
Hector, and talking about that. Since you're a professional fighter, you obviously were a standout amateur. Name me 3 fighters that right now you could say that you sparred them or you beat them up or you faced them in Golden Gloves.
Jay being messy right now, Hector.
No. Don't say who you beat. Just say who have you faced now.
I can say I fought everybody and I beat everybody. I fought a lot of guys. I did. I mean, like I said, I've been in that game for 20 plus years. Earl Spence, obviously, a lot of my toughest competition was from Houston. From Savannah Boxing Club. With Juan Diaz, Jose Diaz. It's been a lot of fighters. Adrian Broner. It's been quite a few fighters. But like I said, hey. It was a long time ago. A long time ago, it was a different level. I was at a different level. They were at a different level. So, no disrespect to any of those fighters. Like, hey, they're doing their thing, and more power to them for sure.
I guess going forward, would you rather see Spence and Pacquiao, or rather see the Mikey Garcia and Pacquiao?
Well, come on, man. You gonna tell me that question?
You're gonna get him in trouble.
No. I don't know nothing at all. I'm just saying that's the talk. That's what everybody talks about. The next fight should be Mikey fight Pacquiao, but my opinion, it should be Earl Spence fighting Pacquiao because Pacquiao got a belt, and we're trying to get to that Spence Crawford to unify the whole division. So we got to take care of Pacquiao. So that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know no inside information.
No. So look, if you talk about styles and fighting and what it means, you're probably right. But honestly, The money fight is whoever puts asses on seat. It's Manny Pacquiao, Mikey Garcia. It's simple. There's no other fight in the 147-pound that's going to be able to sell out a stadium with that kind of intensity, with that kind of money that they're going to make. Manny Pacquiao, you fight Manny Pacquiao, you're making anywhere from 5 to 10 million probably. But if Manny Pacquiao fights Garcia, you're talking about Pacquiao making 25 and Mikey maybe making in the 20-inch. That's the difference because they can fill stadiums up randomly, and they're both little. Like, one thing about they don't realize, Manny Pacquiao is little and Mikey's very little for 147 anyways. So they make a perfect match, and I think people are underestimating that they're both little. So size matters, and I think it'll be a very, very great fight for both fighters. If it happens, I don't know. I don't know anything, but
I guess another thing I say is, do you think Mikey sells more than Spence? Because when Spence fought at the Star, that place was sold out at the Star when Spence fought there. Then
we fought nobody.
Nobody. And then you had Mikey Garcia fighting Jesse Vargas, and it was not sold out. It was empty seats. There was I think they had some stuff blocked off. But Spence, it was wide open, and it was sold out. So my personal opinion, I think Spence is a bigger draw than Mikey Garcia. No offense to Mikey Garcia and his team. I love them to death, but I think Spence is a bigger draw.
I'm going to tell him. He said, RTV, what they said.
I didn't ask that.
No.
I didn't ask that.
Out my face.
No, but you got to look at this too. No. Mikey's not from here. Spence is from here. So it's a little different. If you sell that, Mikey selling that many tickets for not being here.
Yeah, so like I said,
but that's why Pacquiao and Spence here in Dallas would be great, because Spence will bring in more fans than Mikey Garcia would be, because it's here in Dallas, right?
I think anywhere he goes, because in LA also when he fought Porter, it was a good crowd. So it could probably go anywhere, because Spence does have a large following now. New York, LA, Vegas, obviously Dallas. So he has 4 good options, but I think it would be best to do it in Dallas. But Vegas would not sound bad at all.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, they're both at a level that they draw. Earl Spence draws, Mikey draws. The thing about it is, Mikey's fighting in Dallas. He's not from Dallas. He has nobody from Dallas. If Mikey fights in California, he's fighting 20,000 people. That's a big huge advantage when you're packing places in your hometown. And for you to kind of sell a lot in a small fight in a different town that's not your hometown, it's definitely a plus to have. And again, maybe I have favoritism because I work with him and all that, but you got to see kind of who's a draw, who's the audience. Obviously, Hispanic people love boxing and they're gonna pay for it, so that's a big factor, and that's why Manny Pacquiao is also a huge draw, and everybody wants Pacquiao. It's that money fight. Yeah. Simple as that. Money fight. Everybody wants it. In any fight, if Earl fights him, that'd be a great fight. Terrence Crawford, if he fights him, that'd be a good fight too.
Nah.
Does Pacquiao lose both fights, or he wins one and he loses Spence and beats Mikey, or loses both of them, or wins both of them? What do you think, Hector?
Man, it's a tough fight, man. It's a tough fight. Manny Pacquiao. The problem is, and I'm going to tell everybody, you don't know when Manny's going to age. Like, it's going to eventually happen, and it's might going to happen during a fight. We don't know that, so it's hard for me to say, hey, if it's the old Pacquiao, I think Pacquiao wins both fights. But this Pacquiao, he's old. He's not the same. His body's not the same. And you notice it when he fought Keith Thurman. He did really good, like round 1 through 8. And then from like 9, 10, 11, 12, he gassed out. And Pacquiao doesn't gas out. That's age. That's what the body's not, doing what it used to do. And all those wars with Juan Marquez, Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales, like those take a toll. So, yeah.
But that's still good, because even if Asian Pacquiao still beat a prime Keith Thurman. So that's good for Pacquiao.
Absolutely. Like that's what I'm so impressed that people don't give Pacquiao credit for him to beat somebody right now at his age, at his point of his career, somebody that's at the top level of their career. It's remarkable, honestly.
I totally agree with you.
Well,
What you got,
I
James?
mean, no, I mean that's pretty much it. And a lot of people, a lot of people will talk about Hector here in the area. You will not hear nothing negative from him. And
Maybe.
maybe it's media. Maybe it's media. We got Robert back on.
Hey,
But
Hector, going forward, Hector, quick question. What are your plans for the next couple of years with this promotion and with Sweat and everything going on with you? What are your plans? What do you want to do?
get us
What
on
do you
the
want to
zone.
accomplish?
I mean, like I said, right now, I just got to do my part. Make sure Listo Mark is fully prepared to show out. Obviously, make all these events that we're doing successful. I'm gonna let Seferino and Mikey do their part, and they're doing huge things. For not just Mikey, but the promotional side. That here in a second, we'll be running the future of boxing pretty soon. Believe it or not. So
Already.
and that, like I said, again, I'm not trying to sound, cocky or anything like that. Like, hey, man, we put in a lot of work, and don't sleep on us for sure.
And it's not sounding cocky. You back your product, man. You do some good shit over there, and it's not being cocky at all, man. I found it's very you believe in yourself and you believe in your team, and we believe in y'all. So, Team Sweat, we behind y'all 100%.
What's
Thank
the
you.
address
No,
of?
definitely appreciate it, man.
What is the address for Sweat Boxing, Chris?
500 South Beltline Road, Suite 500, Urban, Texas. Sweat Boxing Gym, open 24/7. You good to go? I got it down, Hector. I got it down.
But nah, I guess any other last comments or questions, Robert, that you might have?
No.
Nah. Well, anyways, Hector, we appreciate it, bro, and it's always good. We learn a lot. I always learn a lot from him when I talk to him individually. And we appreciate you, Hector. Stay safe, bro, and hopefully the gym opens back very soon because I miss it.
I know. Hopefully everybody stay safe, be smart, and like I said, hopefully the future's bright for all of us.
Hector,
Yeah. Thank you, Hector. Hector Vazquez with us. Thank you,
All
bro.
right, sounds good, man. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Well,
already.
We learned a lot, huh?
I always enjoy talking to Hector, either on the show we did at Sweat, on the computer, or just chopping it up with him outside all that. He is so knowledgeable and he has so much insight. He's like a full circle: boxer, trainer, gym owner,
business.
He has the whole circle, and his aura is so good. So you know that he's doing good business. So I enjoy talking to Hector.
Yeah, and being in the gym with him and talking to him almost every day, my God, like I learned so much from him, and like he tells me the business side, the training side, and everything he does. But it's been a good show. We're literally about a couple seconds away from hitting an hour, so I guess we'll hop off and thank everybody for. I think we did a lot of good numbers this time. I would see a lot of people tuning in on this and the Twitter, but I don't know if anything else you got to say, Rob.
No, we'll try to do another show Sunday. Me and bro going to discuss. I think Jay said he might not be there, so
I might 50-50. Yeah,
I just want to say, somebody on the panel said somebody on the chat will say they want to join the panel and stuff. That might be something to look forward to, or something to talk about if you want to have somebody from the panel join in and that and give their insight, something that other people are not doing. So that'd be something different. It was a great show. Once again, my name is Chris. My friends can call me Mainzilla, MAINZILLA. We are Real Talk Boxing.
For real fans.
It's Real Talk Boxing. Real talk for real fans. Boxing fans.